Modded. Right guys, welcome back. Handiwork here with another Show Me the Modded thing. This one's a bit different. I'm using all the backup submissions I've had when people have sent me 2 or 3 blasters in the past. I didn't get a lot of submissions this month. There are some. So first up we've got Adam D with his favourite drive. He says it's a BB cage plus full auto. It's 200 FPS. Ammo counter and Chris Vector kit make this look an awesome blaster, and it does. I've never particularly liked the look of the Chris. Even the real weapon, just around the magazine, doesn't suit me, but this looks really good. It's also custom painted in metallic blue, and that's brilliantly done. It almost looks like die-cast metal. And it's wired for parallel lipos in the stock and battery tray for longer life. And you can use either or both, so single shots or full auto mayhem. This is a really nice piece, and some of his other work, which I'll be showing in future months, is just as good. Right, next we've got William L, and he's got a Nerf Pathfinder. Now, William's a man of few words, in fact, basically bullet points, and all I've got here is Rival Pathfinder, basic repaint, out of dart spring, Drac 3D printed goodies, rubberized grip sleeve. But still, it looks stunning paint job. I was wondering if this was a major body mod, and I just looked up what a Nerf Rival Pathfinder is. I'm amazed it actually exists. I'll have to get one. It looks really weird, but really good at the same time. And William's done a great job on this. I like the dark red and all the yellow for safety. But unfortunately, that's all the information I have. I don't know how hard it hits, how far it shoots, anything else, even the type of paints he's used. So, and you know, the Drac 3D printed goodies, that'd be nice to know what he got there. So that one's that one. Let's go again. Next up is Plupper Bludgeon, and he's got what he calls a Flycorian. I believe I've pronounced that right. And he said, I started by ripping out all the useless bits from a Centurion. So did you have anything left? Then I bolted in an out of darts fly core and hot glued the rev trigger and firing switches in. A half trigger pulls and starts the flywheels, while a full trigger fires the darts. And that's all the information I've got. And we've got some photos here of the modifications he's made internally and the finished product. It's a weird looking thing. I know the Centurion's got a bad rep as a terrible blaster. I mean, you know, that's why I made that joke at the beginning, but it does look all right the way he's done it. I have always disliked how far forward the magazine well is. And of course they've done that because of their internal mechanisms, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Whack a scope on that and it'd be a pretty interesting looking sniper rifle. But very nicely done. And yes, hot glue guns to the forefront. Okay, moving on. Right, another one here from Vincent D. He calls this Wetworks. He says it's very tactical and compact. It has the stock internals, but it's a 120-foot FPS model. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't identify what model that is. The body kit he brought off Foamdemic. He forgets who the maker was, but shout out to Foamdemic and them. Worker AK butt stock, which is obvious. He might change it to a Chris Vector stock. Laser dot, working sight, scope, worker metal mag button, battery, door screw, and red flare muzzle with gold chrome detailing. It's really small, as he says, and compact. Good looking blaster all around, but would have liked to know what the base model is. I can't really tell. It has moulding on the sides that looks a little bit Retaliator-ish, but I don't think it's a Retaliator. But nicely done. Yeah, that's incredibly compact. You could have a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun. Moving on. Right, next up is another frequent contributor, Charlie C. He's got a couple of commissions he did for a Judge Dredd LARP. They're roughly based on the lawgiver from both films. Again, no internal mods, as I am all about the paintings. Ah, man after my own heart. And he could have it. It's absolutely shocking. Now, he used Humber Oil Tank Grey for the casing and Games Workshop lead belcher with black ink wash and silver Sharpie highlights on metal. Finish off with my own mix of gun wash, ink and Montana matte spray coat, so it's a proper tough coating. Okie dokie. And they look very nice, just standard everyday retaliators. But the way he's painted it, it's actually made the slide look like a forward heat shield shroud sort of thing. Very nicely done. Okay, next one we have one from Trenton. He says, "G'day, I've been modding for years and finally ready for the world to see my collection. So, world, brace yourself." He's sorry he doesn't have a name for any of his blasters. That's fine, that's your choice, mate. Oh, and he's also said he has an entry for my Halo MA40 segment whenever I decide to do it. He says all these blasters are full auto, and he has an Etsy shop. He sent a few in, but the first one I'll show is the Infidence. It has 42.5 OFP cages, Valkyrie motors, Bulldog flywheels, Meshel 2.0 pusher motor, ammo loader gutted, replaced with ammo counter and speed controls for the pusher and the flywheels. Nicely done. Very, very good paint job. I really like it. Lots of detail bits and pieces all over it. Compact little blaster. The Infidence is a little bit short for me. I'd have to extend the stock, but he's done a really nice job. Left lots of safety orange on it and everything, but it still looks quite good. And even just the visual things, the little red triangles on it that just help to break up the flat surfaces. It's very nicely thought out and worked out. Nice work, Trenton. Looking forward to your next ones. Okay, next up we've got Coffin Black Media, and he says this is a Flip Fury setup to reload short darts, equipped with a 7K spring, padded plunger, Teflon taped O-ring, and silicone lubed plunger tube. Short darts hit 95 to 100 FPS, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, he hopes I dig it, and I do. It's quite a remarkable looking little beastie. Never been a fan of the Flip 5 because I just thought it was too chunky and stuff, but he's done a really good, nice paint job on here. His paint application is, quite simple, just straightforward metallic greys and blacks, a little bit of brass here and there, but it's very nicely cleaned, done cleanly and sharply. And even the weathering he's added is very subtle and blends in really well, and a few touches of rust here and there. It looks really nice. Done, mate. Well done. Very nice, clean, lined work, and putting that much effort into a Flip Fury, that's worth some brownie points. Okay, let's get on with the next one. Right, next up we have Orwells Warning, and he sent in another Borderlands-inspired blaster. 6-7 Banger by Hyperon. A 6-shot Nerf Mega Cyclone shock with a 7 kg spring upgrade and 10mm LED foregrip 2-part epoxy mod. Now I don't know if that's a lighting up thing or a grip or what, I'm confused. Montana spray paint, cell shading, video game, cosmetics, and all the blue glove stuff. I think he's trying to get into next Joss Whedon science fiction or something. But as for the blaster, very nicely done. The cell shading makes it stand out. The weathering on it is lovely, really subtle and impeccable. Makes it look really, really good. The colour palette, the green, haven't seen that often, not a light green like that. Looks really, really nice. I've got so many Mega Cyclone shocks in the shed, I should paint one up because they do look good once they're done. The addition of the foregrip handle adds to the sort of story of the gun. It looks heavy and it needs that extra support. And the big red button on it, yeah, made me think of Element straight away, the ZF1. Very nicely done, mate. Looking forward to your next one. Now, it's said that the line between genius and madness is blurred. Well, in Henning's case, it's completely invisible. He says, please find attached some pictures and descriptions of one of my latest builds. I call it the Nurse Espresso Shot. Base a Nerd Triad EX3, cut off the triple barrel, replace it with a single straight copper barrel for one short dart. Fully integrated into a Starbucks to-go coffee cup. Priming works via a string through the bottom of the cup. Extended trigger with a wall anchor. Perfect for surprise attacks around the office. I really don't want to know what sort of office he works in. Oh, it's just nuts. I mean, hey, creative, new ideas, but wow. He says, from a craftsmanship point of view, it's more like a proof of concept. I gathered that because your other work you sent in Heading is really nicely resolved and done. He asked, maybe someone with a little more computer CAD skills can create an adapter for the little rocket from an out of darts to fit into the coffee cup. Well, I'm sure if anybody wants to help handing out, they can contact him through me. Just send me an email and I'll pass it on. Oh, this is just nuts. Really, really handing it. I really don't want to know where you work. Moving on. Okay, next up we've got another regular, John T. And what he's got here, he says, is built for a post-apocalyptic LARP. So he's focused on a grimy, scrap and beat up kind of look. This one is a Nerf Big Shock model after the pistol from Blade Runner. Simply named That Gun. Fallout video game fans will get the reference, okay? I removed the AR, upgraded the spring and installed the times to elite brass inline clip. Well, at least you got 2 shots, and it seems that like any pistol, you chuck a bolt handle on the side, it'll look like the Blade Runner gun. He's even gone into trouble of painting the grip in a wood grain finish. Very nicely done, John. Very nicely done. Okay, guys. Now, sometimes I absolutely love doing this because you see all this cool stuff that people produce and everything, but then you get things like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with the blaster. It looks really cool, very impressive. But when they send their own text that they'd like you to read out, well, I can only say I hate you, Jericho Digital, but here goes. A tachyon burst of particle disruption cells from a gravimetric phase inducer causes a nano-singularity matrix meltdown. Now, I think we've probably just broken 5 or 6 copyright laws there. But basically, it says, he doesn't tell me a lot about the actual blaster it's based on or anything like that. It was part of his series he did for them Star Wars blasters that some of them have seen and some of them I've still got as backups. The jam door to me looks like it's off one of those round-bodied blasters, the Rampage or something like that. I'm not sure. But he really hasn't given me any other information other than to say this gun goes kablamo and makes the bad guys go away permanently, which wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so that's all I can tell you. Can't tell you FPS, can't tell you anything. But it looks kind of cool. It's meant to be like a heavy-duty grenade launcher, plasma cannon, that sort of thing to work in fan movies. A BFG from Doom, maybe. God, it's weird looking, but I love it. Okay, no slideshow today. I've just got too much on I've got to get on with. See you next time, guys.